Hey, what's going on, y'all? Welcome to another Atlanta Housewives review. Let's get into it. What's going on, y'all? Let's get into this episode of the Housewives. Child, this episode was pure foolishness on top of foolishness. Now let's get into the aftermath of everything that happened. Now, Kenya was right for getting a separate vehicle to go home, because I wouldn't want to ride with none of them fools going back home with all that stuff that was going on. And I mean, just the thought of somebody just putting some information out there in the streets like that, you know, it's just like kind of ridiculous, you know what I'm saying? But that's what happens when you live certain type of lifestyles, and y'all, they drink, go to clubs and get wild and want to touch and feel on each other and kiss on each other. And then when somebody falls out with this one, then everybody want to run and go tell this and that and the third. And so, you know, that's just how it is, you know. And that's why you have to be very, very careful what you do around certain people. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a different thing when you have like a best friend that you share literally anything. Nowadays, you cannot have any friends like that anymore. You just can't. You can't have friends like that anymore, because people will put your business out. Y'all have one little fallout, people will spread all the dirt that they know about you. And so, you know, that should be a lesson to Kandi, but I don't really think it is. Now let's get into it, because I got my notes here, honey, so I can keep on track. So now you got they on the bus talking about what went down, and of course Porsha acting like, oh my god, I really didn't. She's still acting like she didn't know what was going on, and she don't think that it was a big deal, you know, but it really was. And Phaedra just faked her way through the whole damn thing. She was the main one that confirmed a lot of stuff. And since Phaedra and Kandi were best friends, you know, people are kind of inclined to believe a lot of what Phaedra have to say. And so I don't really understand. I really cannot fathom why Sheree did not call Phaedra's name. I don't know. Maybe we'll find out later, because, you know, with that chick is always something going on behind the scenes strategically. But I really don't understand why she did not call Phaedra's name. Because Phaedra and her started that. Phaedra and Porsha was the ones that was talking about that nonsense, you know. And I don't even understand. And then if Porsha participated, why would you even? But, you know, thinking about it, it's just like Porsha ain't too bright. She's just not too bright. And so of course she would just put some stuff out there, not realizing that the girl got stuff on her, you know. Because you, in the heat of the moment, you really don't think. I'm trying to give her a tiny little bit of credit, but not really, you know, because Porsha ain't too bright. So yeah, I could see how she could forget that, you know, people know her dirt too. In Atlanta, you know, especially people that are in the entertainment business of any kind, it's a very small community, and everybody know everybody, and you know, you know, run in really close circles. So, you know, and one person tell this one, they tell that the whole town knows. So, you know, I don't know. Now in the next scene, Cynthia goes home, of course, and give the blow by blow of what went down. And that is what I'm talking about. People go home and they start telling their assistants, people that are just like regular folks. They're not in the entertainment. They just work for somebody famous. And then that assistant goes and tells this person, and that person goes and tells that person. And that's how stuff hit the streets so fast, because you always hear TMZ say a person close to this person, somebody, a close family friend. You know, they always confirm things by, you know, folks just talking around people who gonna go run and tell. Now for Cynthia, I really thought that it was kind of inappropriate for her to be talking about what happened at the trip around her daughter, even though her daughter is almost grown. Personally, I mean, it's just me. Maybe y'all different, maybe, you know, whatever. I really don't give it. I don't want to hear anything about my mama doing whatever she was doing back in the days. Not like she would actually tell me, but you know what I'm saying, you know, my mama's different from her, you know. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to know. I don't want to hear what you done did back in the days, you know, if it's like scandalous or crickets. You just don't want to look at your mama in that light. But for her to be like, oh, I kissed a woman and this and that, like, nobody don't, I mean, and her daughter was clearly like, okay, mom, stop. You know, she was clearly embarrassed. Like, that conversation should not have been had in front of the daughter. But, you know, some parents, they just want to, I guess, be open and honest with their kids. I don't know, child. And so now Kandi goes and she tells her crew, her clique, you know, about what went on. And of course, the first thing one of her assistants said is that, I don't know why Porsha is running around telling people that you're in the closet lesbian when she messes with women too. And I'm just like, and then of course, you know, Kandi didn't tell him about, you know, Porsha and her exchange, you know, what went down between them two. And so she did keep her little secret. You know, they knew she messed with females, but they didn't know that, you know, those two had kissed, and Todd knew about it. Now, I don't, you know, judge nobody for what they want to do, and everybody says, and I was watching, I don't know if y'all watched the reel, but I was watching a clip of it where Nene was on there, and she was saying, they were just having a conversation saying that if you kissed a woman, does that make you gay? And Adrian was like, oh no, it doesn't make you gay, you're just having fun. And I'm just like, but if you are 110% heterosexual, why would you, in order to kiss anybody in the mouth, tongue kiss somebody in the mouth, there has to be some kind of attraction. So you could tell that lie all you want, that, oh, you may not be gay, you're not gay if you kiss another woman. But if a man tongue kissed another man, people would automatically think that he was gay. So please stop it. So I don't really understand, you know, Kandi, she may be in the closet, you know, even though she probably prefers to have sex with a man. I don't know, it's so much stuff out there now. I'm so confused. I'm so confused with all the different types. You got transgender, you got homosexual, you got the lesbians, and it's like different subcultures of lesbian. It's just so much. It's so hard to keep up. I don't want to. There's so much going on. Like, you cannot convince me that you could tongue kiss a woman and you're not gay. Like, you have to be attracted to a woman in some kind of way. I don't understand that. It ain't that much liquor in the damn world. I'm so sorry. It's not that much liquor in the world for me to go tongue kissing nobody, no woman, no. And then sit up there and say, oh, I love my husband and I'm not gay. Like, I think you're confused just a little bit. Oh God. And so yeah. And so now, you know, of course, Porsha blowing up Kandi phone because she scared her little business gonna get told. So Kandi finally returns her text, and you know, they agree to meet up to this restaurant. And so, you know, of course, Porsha done had some time to sit and think about all that transpired, you know, because I'm pretty sure she trying to plan to spread some stuff of her own, some made up stuff, that is. But you know, that's how Porsha is. Like, you ain't gonna keep putting me on blast, and I ain't gonna have nothing prepared to make up the, you know, because they know the kind of platform they have, and they know that if they say something and just put it out there, it could be a blatant lie, it can be an obvious lie, but the lie will take off on its own and have its own legs and wings, and just people just ride with it. And a lot of people will actually believe it, you know, because of, you know, they on TV. And so, you know, I'm pretty sure she was like, I'm finna go meet up with Kandi, and I'm gonna make sure I got me some good tea. I'm finna make up some good tea so that I can put her on blast. She ain't gonna put me on blast. But that's how people fight dirty, you know. It's just messed up like that. They so doggone crazy. And so of course she gets up there talking about, oh, you done had a woman for 7 years, and oh, you mess with women and all kind of stuff. And it's just, they just going back and forth about who does what to whom. And then Porsha drops this tea talking about, oh, well, you need to talk to your husband, how he running around in New York with a alias, telling girls he got a fake name and all that. And I'm just like, come on, Porsha, like, for real, seriously? Like, do you really think, like, if they're gonna have threesomes, why the hell would he sneak and mess? I mean, as much as he's been on TV, if you black, you know who he is. You know, even if you don't watch the show, you know who Todd is. And so the fact that, you know, she said that, I just didn't believe it. You know, and you know what, to be honest with you, I really don't know what to believe, because they live in a crazy lifestyle. So you never know what they into. You never know what they got going on behind closed doors. She probably knew. She probably said, you know, he probably said, oh, can I go? You know, I'm going out of town. You think I can, you know, hit a few chicks while I'm up there? Sure, honey, go right ahead. That was probably their arrangement. You never know with people. I mean, I'm not judging. I just, hey, do what you do. If you like it, I love it. So, you know, of course they get into an argument and Kandi just leaves, because it's just stupid at this point. Like, y'all just going back and forth. You're not resolving anything, and all you doing is, okay, you tell something and I'm gonna tell something. You say something about me, I'm gonna say something about you. And it's just ridiculous. It's just starting to get like really high school. You know, we're talking about women in their mid-30s and early 40s. Like, for real, grow up. Like, if you can't get along, y'all no longer friends. And I think all of this is stemming from her loyalty to Phaedra, you know, and that ain't got nothing to do with her. You know, whatever Phaedra and Kandi got going on, she should have stayed out of it. That ain't got nothing to do with you. Like, I've had situations where I've had two friends that were fighting with each other. Don't put me in that. If y'all don't get along, I will hang out with both of y'all separately, but don't put me in it, because I don't have nothing to say. I don't have nothing to add. You know, and a lot of times it's like petty stuff too. So yeah, so, oh God. Kandi trying to get this little girl to sing, and she don't want to sing. Why, Jesus? Now, I'm not gonna pick at her or anything, but you can kind of tell she kind of has like this lackluster attitude, kind of naturally, like, I don't want to, like, she really don't want to sing. And I mean, for her mama to be who she is and can write songs at the drop of a hat, and for this girl to get up in the damn booth acting like half-ass singing that song, I would have just been like, come on. You cannot force activities on kids that really do not want. That's like my mom back in the days trying to make my brother sing in a choir. He would just stand there with his mouth closed. Like, he was determined he don't want to sing. Leave him alone. How do our parents feel like they have to force a child? Oh, if I force them to do it, they'll eventually like it. No, they're not going to. Stop. And so, yeah, I didn't understand that whole scene with her trying to sing something. Oh, and apparently they actually did finish the song and she's trying to promote it. Who gonna buy that? Who gonna buy that? It's all auto-tunes. The girl ain't gonna perform it live because she's so, like, just, she ain't gonna perform it live because she don't want to do it. So here we go, Porsha and this man she with. This, oh, he's so doggone cute. Every time he smiles, it's like the whole room lights up. It's so cute. But I don't know, you know, I don't know what Porsha is trying to accomplish with this guy. I really don't. He quit his job for her, and I mean, I guess I get her argument that if you quit a job, you know, be in, you know, just be prepared to get another one. Like, start working to get another job. Like, don't just be like, okay, I quit my job, okay, let's just be in love and be together happily ever after, everyday date. No, somebody got to get up and work. They have a lifestyle. Porsha has a lifestyle that she needs to maintain, and she has to work, okay, in order to maintain that lifestyle. And from what she says, she has a couple of businesses that she has to keep going, and so she can't just roll around in the bed with this man all day and all night pretending to be in love, because it's not going to work. And so, and with her running around town kissing women, like, I don't really understand, like, how he feel about that. He don't even look like he care. He look like he just want to be with her and be on TV. Well, I don't think he want to be on TV, but I think he just want to be with her. But child, she's trying to like pressure him into, like, fear him into a relationship. Oh, if you're not going to be serious, I'll drop you like a bad habit. I mean, that's great to say. But if a man does not want to, if a man wants to really be in a relationship, he will do what he has to do to be in that relationship with you. You cannot force no man. You cannot guilt no man. And you sure as hell can't threaten no man into being with you. If he gonna be with you, he gonna be with you. And to be honest with you, she said she ain't really want no relationship. So what the hell is it? Do you want a relationship with the man, or do you just want a sperm? Which one is it? And see, with that guy, I feel like she can't get one without the other. She can't get the baby that she want without trying to be with him in some way, shape, or form. And so she kind of have to play that game. And I'm just like, don't do it. If you want a child that's 110% yours, go take your behind to the sperm bank and do what you do. And then she turned around and bought this big old house. Like, we all know Atlanta is not, you can get a really, really great house for a reasonable price. Who pays millions of dollars? What was it, 1.2 million or 2.2 million for a damn house that already got a kid's room and a playground? Like, she got the money to burn, so I guess. But no, I mean, I was on that too, years and years and years ago, when I just was just like fed up and I thought that I would never ever get married. Yes, I had those. I mean, I was like 28, 29 and had no prospects at all. Okay, I was dating a lot and just going from one loser to the next. Just going, when you go out with people, because I was at the point where I was just like, okay, let me just date you for a few weeks to see what's going on, and after a while I would see certain things. I'm just like, you know what, let's just be friends. I'll holler at you later. I was just constantly just breaking up with guys and just moving on because they just were not husband material. And I told my best friend at the time, no longer my best friend, that if I am not married by a certain time, I'm just going to go on ahead and do it on my own. Have my kids, because I really wanted kids. I really wanted kids more than I wanted to actually be married. I just wanted that family. And so I had already made plans to have my own kids. I didn't know how I was going to do it. That's before YouTube and before I know what I know. But nowadays, honey, you don't need no man to create no family. You can create a family all by your lonesome, you can have kids and do it, if you can get pregnant or whatever, you can have kids on your own and have your own family where you don't have to worry about child support, a person coming to see your kids or not. You don't have to worry about that. So I don't know. I don't even think these two are even going to last long. And from what I hear out there, I don't even think they're together anymore because she didn't really want him. Like, don't waste nobody's time. If you want them, you want them. If you don't, then move on. But don't be running around saying, oh, I want a man, I want a husband, and I want a husband and kids, and if I can't get that, I'll just settle for somebody just impregnating me. Like, it don't work that way, because if he's a real man, he's just not going to give you a baby and just go on about his business. He's going to want to be in the child's life and want to take responsibility for the child emotionally and financially, I'm sure. He don't seem like no deadbeat, but Porsha need to sit down somewhere, especially with her running around town. She don't know what she want, a woman or a man. She would sit down and figure that out first before she be trying to run around town trying to be with somebody. But anyway, I digress. And so that's just pretty much it, child. I ain't got too much more to talk about, but this whole episode was kind of messy. It's just real ridiculous, and that is the reason why, people, I do not have a whole lot of friends anymore. I used to have a big entourage of girlfriends, and it's just that you see certain things, like they start doing these crazy things, and it's just like, how can I honestly be your friend and tell you that what you're doing is wrong, and you get mad at me? You're not going to receive that. And so I can't really be your friend and just condone stuff. For instance, I had a friend who she ended a relationship with a guy, and so she wanted to get him back, and so she would mess with him like every now and then play like she was pregnant and beg him for money for an abortion, and then take the money and go out of town and go spend it on clothes and stuff. And I was just like, what are you doing? Like, what you get out of that? Oh, girl, I'm gonna make him pay. Like, okay, yeah, I can't be your friend no more. That you on some special kind of crack. Like, I don't know what kind of crack it is, but it's some special kind of crack. Like, who does that? And she just kept doing that. And the guy was crazy too for keep messing around with her. He keep messing around with her, and then every time you turn around, a few weeks later, girl, I'm pregnant. You got to pay for this abortion because we ain't together and I don't want to have no baby. And she would be lying about being pregnant. Let's just say, she would be lying. She's not pregnant. she'll be lying, and once he gives her the cash, she would just have a good old time. And I just had to cut off that relationship, and it was just like crazy stuff. You know, I know everybody has their faults and their goods and their bads, but some stuff I just cannot condone. I can't be your friend. You know, you just doing too doggone much. But anyway, child, I'm gonna let y'all go, and I'll see y'all next week, honey. And so if you like this vlog, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see y'all Monday for another review of the Housewives.